direction wing out. The inside receiver will be running the out about 10 yards. So it should put him in around the goal line.
13 seconds to go in the half.
Hurry up!
Play clock winding down, and that's why Tim Markham's yelling, hurry up. Only 5 seconds left to get the playoff. 4, 3, 2, 1. He used too much time. Now Tim saw it.
Come here.
Gilbert didn't.
Zigo backside.
Zigo backside.
Zigo backside. They're going to try and isolate on the right side of the field. Will be for the Z-man on the fade route. If not, they're going to hit the guy in the flat to the short side of the field.
All right, so it should be Will McClay again, right?
Yes.
Number 5. Here comes Mark Guy in motion. Renfro in trouble. Almost had his receiver McClay at the goal line. Incomplete with 6 seconds to go in the half. Well, a good pass rush will mess up any play call, as you'll see right here.
Well, he runs the Z-go, and Gilbert gets flushed out of the pocket and is forced to throw an errant pass, and fortunately for the drive, the ball wasn't intercepted.
Well, there you saw Will calling for the ball, calling for it, but Gilbert Renfro was in deep trouble.
The timekeeper over there is really trying to help the guys get home, okay? There were 2 seconds went off of the clock after the play was hit.
Mark was still upset about the clock.
This last play, we should have 8 seconds instead of 6. I looked up and saw 2 myself, okay?
I'll talk to Jimmy. If you start directly, we'll get right now.
Okay.
Wes Fritz, the referee, says we'll start watching. That's about all they can do. Detroit used its second timeout.
They don't put any time back on the clock. We're going to have to kick the field goal. We don't have enough. You had to throw. We just didn't have the right guy in there.
Yeah, he was fucking mad. He had avoided one guy.
I should have known.
Oh, I thought it was George, but...
Who's he talking about? We didn't have the right guy in there. Is he talking about the quarterback or the receiver?
He's talking about the receiver. He had Will McClay in there at Z when he wanted Gary Mullen in there.
Mark, what did he do?
I mean, that round fuck, he ever ran the
Well, don't miss any of this drive football action this season. To be a part of it, get your prime tickets for their next home game, Friday, July the 10th, when they host the Albany Firebirds in what could be a showdown for first place. The drive rolled over the Birds in Albany, handed them their only loss of the season. So the Firebirds will be looking for revenge next Friday night. Tickets are on sale at the Joe Louis Arena box office, Ticketmasters, or charged by phone at 313-645-6666. And remember, if you order in advance, all tickets are only $10. Well, the officials decided not to put 2 more seconds on the clock, and so Tim Markham will settle for a field goal try. 28 yards by Langloh on its way. Hit the bar. No good. That ball's free in the end zone now. And time will run out as Cleveland recovers. It was Chris Harkness who came up with it. Now let's hold on a moment, because there is that little piece of linen down on the field, that yellow flag.
We have a 5-yard belt penalty. It happens to be on the offensive or kicking team. The half is over.
Well, the penalty was on the drive because they got inside of that 5-yard zone. You've got to give the other team to grab the kick. Now, Dave Winham, the coach of the Thunderbolts, wants some time on the clock so he can try to run a play. He's down 14 points. But I don't think he's going to win this battle with Wes Fritz, the referee, because the teams are headed toward the locker room. We have reached halftime here at the Richfield Coliseum. And while Winham tries to argue his case before the Supreme Court in residence, the players are all headed toward the locker room. We played 2 quarters here in Cleveland, and the Drive enjoys a 2-touchdown lead, jumping on top early with a safety and then a touchdown, and seeing Cleveland come back to grab a 1-point edge before the Drive rebounded on a touchdown pass to George LaFrance and a TD run by Gilbert Renfro. Well, the Drive came up big in the first half. You mentioned, Paul, that both teams know how much this game means The Drive looked a little more ready than the Cleveland, maybe a little more talented. When you look at Cleveland's victories this year, their first 3 of the season, they have come against 3 teams who have combined to win only 2 games.
I think if we're going to win tonight, which stands a good chance that we just may, we've got to continue to put pressure on the quarterback. As long as Major Harris is in there, if he's got time to throw the ball, he's going to beat you. And we have been able to get to him so far.
Well, down on the sideline, Coach Tim Markham is standing by, and you got to be happy, Tim, to be up 2 touchdowns. You got a great performance out of Gilbert Renfro in that first half.
Well, happy right now, but the most important thing is just to stay after him. Just like Paul said, we've got to stay after Major Harris, keep the pressure on him. We're making a few rookie mistakes out there offensively also. We need to come back this second half and do the same things we did first half.
Well, we mentioned Gilbert Renfro, meantime, had a tremendous first half, 11 out of 16. And you told us before the ball game you were going to test Tony Missick in that secondary, and you burned him for a couple of touchdowns. George LaFrance already 97 yards receiving in the first half. We're going to see more of that in the second?
Well, we're going to come with, a little more controlled passing game. Hopefully we'll spend some time off the clock, be a little more cautious, a little more conservative, and get out of here with a victory. We don't care how much, we just want to win it.
All right, Tim, good luck. Thank you. Tim Markham, the head coach for the Detroit Drive, up by 14 here at the intermission. George LaFrance with a pair of touchdowns to lead the way.
Michigan Bob is not a large company, so Blue Cross taking care of my insurance benefits for my employees saves me time. I don't want to have a person devoted full-time to filling out claim forms and having to explain to people day after day, yes, this is your coverage for that, having to get on the phone, call the carrier and say, why didn't you pay this, why didn't you pay that? We don't have to do that with Blue Cross. What they're taking care of with the employee, I don't have to work on.
People say, you're going to give me a guarantee of up to 80,000 miles on my tires, and free rotations, and more, all in writing? That's right. And that means you'll rest easy. Peace of mind.
Wayne, buddy, may I?
Roby!
I gotta call Mother.
Mother?
Now at Metro 25, get 10 to 50% off at the one-week warehouse sale. New Michelin XH4s start at just $53.17.
Mom, you hit me first. I never start fights.
Hurry, Metro 25's warehouse sale is 1 week only. Call 1-800-METRO-25.
Next, Reverend.
Mr. Mayor, isn't this a lot of fuss over one parking ticket, sir?
Am I on the camera? Well, the mayor, I would be derelict in my duty. Who's on the bullhorn? His girlfriend.
Billy is not Billy! It's Mama!
She cut in front of me.
Yeah, Sheriff, can I talk to you for a second? Sheriff, if Billy were to agree to traffic school, we could... I got it, Sheriff.
Billy, who are you? Billy, you gotta tell me who the woman is.
There are some things in life people would do just about anything for.
Billy!
Smooth, refreshing Stroh's.
Here's your Stroh's back, Sheriff. Let him have it.
It's not just any beer. It's Stroh's.
Through 2 quarters here at Richfield Coliseum, the Detroit Drive on top of the Cleveland Thunderbolts, 29-15. Frank Beckmann here, along with Paul Jokisch, the former Michigan receiver, on injured reserve with the Drive, and probably happy you're up here instead of down on the field. Both teams showing how badly they need this game. Been a lot of good hitting down there.
Well, on the contrary, Frank, I would just about give anything to be down there and be playing right now. I love to compete, and it's a big game, like we mentioned and what we talked about earlier, and it's important for both teams to get a victory on the board tonight. Fortunately for us, we're up 29-15.
Well, we mentioned so often with arena football the offensive figures, but a lot of times it's defense which wins ball games. Major Harris, the man with a bigger reputation than Gilbert Renfro in football circles around the country, doesn't have the numbers to match. And one of the reasons tonight is that the Drive has been able to put some major pressure on Mr. Harris.
I think that's the basic difference between the two teams tonight. He's just getting tremendous pressure from the outside. He's not had the time he's needed to throw the ball. And Gilbert, on the other hand, is getting the time, and he is completing the passes.
Time they were being constructed, the words, and no one was angry enough to speak out. I think people should be angry enough to speak out. I think there are injustices. I think there are unfairnesses in my own country and around the world, and I think that if one feels it involved in it, that one should try to do something about it.
Towards the dispossessed and the powerless, he felt a special concern, and he brought to them a touch of hope. The more he saw of this America, the more he would ask, what of their future? Starved in mind and body, they had been damaged beyond compare. He saw in America an island of poverty in a sea of affluence. When freedom's sons were on the march, it was his march. He was with Cesar Chavez to protest the suffering of migrant farm workers. He was there to share the breaking of the fast and the benediction of a cause that could not wait. In 1968, he made the most important political decision in his life, to seek the presidency, to seek new policies, to close the gaps.
We cannot separate ourselves, no matter where we live, from the problems and the troubles and the difficulties that face the whole of the United States. I don't think it's tolerable that young men and young women growing up in our great cities are not able to find jobs. I don't think it's tolerable here in this country that a young boy or a young girl, even when they finish school, are illiterate and uneducated, and therefore can't go on to either a college or university or on to an employment. And I think white and black, poor and rich together, that we can work together. Jefferson once said about the United States, we were the last best hope of mankind. That's what I want the United States to be. This is a generous and compassionate country. That's what I want this country to stand for. Not violence, not lawlessness, not disorder, but compassion and love and peace. That's what this country should stand for, and that's what I intend to do if I'm elected president.
Somewhere over Indiana, on the evening of April 4th, 1968, he was informed that Martin Luther King had been shot. Again, the bullet. Again, the agony.
Martin Luther King dedicated his life to love and to justice between fellow human beings. He died in the cause of that effort. In this difficult day, in this difficult time for the United States, it's perhaps well to ask what kind of a nation we are and what direction we want to move in. What we need in the United States is not division. What we need in the United States is not hatred. What we need in the United States is not violence and lawlessness, but is love and wisdom and compassion toward one another, feeling of justice toward those who still suffer within our country, whether they be white or whether they be black. And what dedicate ourselves to what the Greeks wrote so many years ago, to tame the savageness of man and make gentle the life of this world. Let us dedicate ourselves to that and say a prayer for our country and for our people.
The prayer he asked for America would not be answered in his lifetime. Perhaps for his children, but not for him.
My brother need not be idealized or enlarged in death beyond what he was in life. To be remembered simply as a good and decent man who saw wrong and tried to right it, saw suffering and tried to heal it, saw war and tried to stop it. Those of us who loved him pray that what he was to us and what he wished for others will someday come to pass for all the world. As he said many times in many parts of this nation, to those he touched and who sought to touch him, some men see things as they are and say, why? I dream things that never were and say, why not?
Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Edward M. Kennedy.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Fellow Democrats, fellow Americans, on behalf of our family, I thank you for this tribute to Robert Kennedy, gone now nearly a quarter century, but indelible in memory, a vivid fire that still lights the best and most honorable paths of public life. Those who shared his hopes were a source of great strength for him. And it would be a source of great pride to both my brothers that so many of you here in this convention hall were first brought to politics by their urging and example. You are their living legacy. Their truest history is written in your hearts and in the hearts of people everywhere who refuse to be content with things as they are. Today, the ideals which became part of the very fabric of their being are not simply something to remember. Their ideals ask us, beckon us, challenge us once again to do better, to give something back to our country in return for all that it has given to us. After 12 years of wintry indifference at the center of power, it is time to return to the ideal of compassion. We must end the politics of neglecting the needy and then blaming them for their pain. In the 1990s, we must make war against poverty, not war against the poor. We must trust and speak to the best instincts of our people. We must demand an America that helps the homeless, feeds the hungry, breaks the cycle of poverty, and replaces welfare with work, not because these things are easy, but because the fundamental test of our society is how it treats the least powerful among us. An America that does not care is not really America at all. Second, after 12 years of official hostility to minorities and to the majority who are women, it is time to renew the ideals of equality. Our national journey across 2 centuries has been a pilgrimage away from prejudice. It is our task as Americans to be dissatisfied with discrimination. We must stand with pride and without apology for the great unfinished cause of civil rights. We must resume our progress towards a truly free society where people will no longer be oppressed or held back or held down because of the color of their skin. We must break the glass ceiling that stretches across our government and our economy so that at long last all Americans will be equal in life as well as in law. I believe that women will be a majority of the new senators elected this year. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. And I believe that one day women will also be a majority of the United States Senate. We are beginning to end the discrimination against women so ancient and embedded that until this generation it was hardly even noticed or named. We must refuse to go back. We must defend a woman's right to choose. We must defend family values, not by denying women's rights, but by passing family and medical leave. American workers should never be forced to decide between the job they need and the child that they love. All this is part of a long struggle to push back the frontiers of freedom. Along the way, we have learned again and again that equality is a continuing struggle, and that America is a continuing revolution. This means many things, but it surely means that cabinet posts must be filled on the basis of talent, not sexual orientation. And young Americans should not have to deny who they are in order to fight and die for their country. Third, after 12 years of false prosperity, recession, and slow decline, we must restore the ideal of economic growth and opportunity for the hard-working people who are the strength and the soul of America.
Gilbert Renfro didn't see him, so he took the 11-yard pass to Mullen. First down on the Cleveland 20.
Can't complain about 11 yards.
George LaFrance will, though.
Sure will.
There's another flag for offside on the draw play. Sargent gets about a yard. That is Willie Fears who's jumping too soon. It's the second straight play. You saw number 78 come early. This time, Detroit will take the 3-yard penalty. Tim Markham pointing, and now he's going to call the play.
Offside, nose tackle, 3-yard penalty, still first down.
Let's go left early, rip high Liz. 63 S flat.
Left early rip, high Liz, 63 S flat. That's going to be to the fullback. Look for him to be in the flat. He's going to attempt to block and throw a screen pass to the fullback.
Okay, now what's this left early rip, high Liz business?
Early rip is for the wide receiver that comes in motion. Early rip, he lines up on the line of scrimmage, then goes in motion.
And
look for the fullback.
That's
He's got
Renfro in trouble. He has the pass intercepted. It's going to be run back for a touchdown by Bill Poirier. The defensive lineman picked up the deflected pass out of midair after Renfro, under some heavy pressure, made a big mistake. And Cleveland has a chance to cut Detroit's lead in half.
Let's take a look at it on your screen. Gilbert breaks the pocket, sees his fullback in the flat, but can't get the ball off. He probably should have just thrown it up in the stands and been done with it. Gilbert's been around a while, and he's got to make that play. If it's not there, throw it up in the stands. You take your loss, and you go with it.
Well, Willie Fears, number 78, will give him the early pressure. There it is. And then Brian Williams will deflect the pass right here. And there's a defensive lineman's dream. The extra point attempt by Chris Drennan is good. And the TD interception return by Phil Poirier has pulled Cleveland back to within 7 after the drive seemed to be marching to extend their lead.
Isn't it a shame, owners of cars and trucks seeing them quit before their time?
You're out back.
Maybe the owners don't know about AC Delco, a full line of auto parts designed with proper maintenance to help your car or truck last.
Nick Bickner.
What if everybody knew?
Debbie?
AC Delco.
Huh?
Where is everybody?
It's like buying time.
Available at Murray's Discount Auto Stores, the place with all the parts.
It's a special time, and you've got a special person in mind. It's a big affair. You're looking for something special to wear. President Tuxedo. President's got the look that's hot. President Tuxedo. You can set the pace. You can take the lead. President's the place. They've got what you need. President's got the look that's hot. President Tuxedo.
Bill Poirier's had 3 tackles, a sack, and a fumble recovery this year. Now he's got an interception for a touchdown. Drennan's kickoff. That ball is loose. And let's see who's got it. Touchdown, Cleveland. Anthony Newsome recovers for the score. And just like that, we're on the verge of a tie ball game. That is arena ball. And they're going wild in Richfield. Neither LaFrance nor Mullen could come up with a bouncing football, and Anthony Newsome takes advantage.
Anthony celebrating with the crowd there a little bit.
Now Chris Drennan to tie the ball game. And we got whistles blowing because there's an extra football on the field.
It seems to be a little big.
Yeah, it just might be a little oversized. It's one of those inflatable jobs, folks. There it is. And he may go all the way for the score here. He's got 15 to go.
I think he's running out of gas.
He stepped out of bounds at the 1.
This is arena ball. Anything can happen, folks.
And just has. Drive at a 14-point lead. Seem to be moving in position to extend it. And now, in the wink of an eye, we've got a tie football game with 9:58 to go in the 3rd quarter. And Dave Winham, the head coach of the Cleveland Thunderbolts, is walking up and down the sideline as if this is the way he had it planned. And it probably is the way You plan it in your dreams, Paul, but not the way you ever expect to see it happen on the football field.
Well, the Thunderbolts got 14 points on the board already this half, and Major Harris has yet to make a big play. That's not what Coach Markham wanted to see. He wanted to come out and establish some momentum, and they haven't done it.
In fact, the Cleveland offense has not been on the field yet.
That's not a good sign.
The defense scored one touchdown, and the special team got the other one.
Now you've got the crowd into it, so you're going to not only have to play the other team, but you've got to play the crowd. And we're going to use some hand signals here so that the receivers can get the plays from the quarterbacks.
Well, I think you're going to see a little bit more care taken on the ball off the net this time on Brennan's kick. George LaFrance would like to atone for that last one that got away, and he gets his chance from 4 yards deep. Finds a seam. Oh, he stumbled and fumbled, and it looked like Tate Randall recovered up near midfield.
Tate Randall recovered 23-yard line. Looks like George had a seam and stumbled right about the 20-yard line, Frank.
Yeah, tripped over the yardage stripe. Let's see if we can figure out what happens, because it looked to me like George was going to take it back all the way, Paul.
It looked like he could drive a truck through there, and at the 20-yard line, he seemed to grab his foot in the seam and lost his balance.
And the ball just fell out of his hands.
Fortunately for the drive, Tate Randall recovered.
Well, big break there for Tim Markham and company, and now Gilbert Renfro will try to calm things down. That's LaFrance in motion. And that's LaFrance making the catch inside the 5-yard line.
There's your wide poster flag again, Frank. On that play, if you have the time to throw the ball, George is going to beat him. He's in man-to-man coverage. Let's take a look at it on the screen here. Straight drop back. George goes to the inside shoulder, inside attitude of his defender, finds a hole. Gilbert throws the ball. LaFrance reels it in. Pitch and catch.
For 23 yards. George LaFrance with 120 yards receiving tonight.
A very timely play.
I'd say, after you've given up 14 points. One directly on the turnover. First and goal from the 4. Renfro will keep it behind Sargent. He'll get a yard. That's it. Maybe 2 to the 2-yard line.
Not much room there.
Gilbert Renfro will come over to hear the play, and we'll eavesdrop.
Left, rip, no. Go left, high load, 37 toss.
Left high load, 37 toss, I believe.
Now what's the high load?
The high load is for the wide receiver in motion. Come up behind the quarterback to the strong side of the field, which will be the 37, which will be the left side. Look for Sargent to take it in.
Here he comes with blocking from LaFrance. Touchdown, Broderick Sargent. Boy, it's easy to call him when you hear the play.
Just like you do it up on the screen.
The drive comes back to reclaim the lead on this run by Broderick Sargent.
Let's take another look. Broderick takes the toss. He's got all 3 of his wide receivers to the left side blocking. Dives up over the top, takes it in.
7 rushing touchdowns for Broderick Sargent. It was George LaFrance who threw the key block right there on Missick, 84.
George not known for his blocking ability.
He got it done, and so did John Langloh on the extra point. And so the drive stayed even with Cleveland, but not for long. John Langloh's extra point makes it a 7-point ball game. We've crossed the midway mark here in the 3rd quarter.
People say, you're going to give me a guarantee of up to 80,000 miles on my tires, and free rotations, and more, all in writing? That's right. And that means you'll rest easy. Peace of mind.
Wayne, buddy, may I?
Roby!
I gotta call Mother.
Mother?
Now at Metro 25, get 10 to 50% off at the 1-week warehouse sale. New Michelin XH4 start at just $53.17.
Mom, you hit me first. I never start fights.
Hurry, Metro 25's warehouse sale is 1 week only. Call 1-800-METRO-25.
Michigan Bub is not a large company, so Blue Cross taking care of my insurance benefits for my employees saves me time. I don't want to have a person devoted full-time to filling out claim forms and having to explain to people day after day, yes, this is your coverage for that, having to get on the phone, call the carrier and say, why didn't you pay this, why didn't you pay that? We don't have to do that with Blue Cross. What they're taking care of with the employee, I don't have to work on.
Drive center, John Ralk shaken up on the extra point attempt, and it looked like his right knee. We'll get another look at it. That's Ralk snapping the ball. Whoa,
it's his own player that blocked down and someone landed on top of him.
That wasn't Ralk snapping. That was Roland snapping, or rather Grabizna. Ralk was next to him. On the return, Anthony Newsom gets it out to the 10-yard line. Maybe we can give one more look at that and
great tackle by Lynn Rowland.
See exactly what happened to John Ralk as we take a look at the scoring drive by Detroit to reclaim the lead after the 2 quick touchdowns by Cleveland that tied the game. I think John's at left guard there. Yeah, there he is. And it's his right knee which buckles under. And then his left one is extended.
78 up over the top, fell right on his left knee.
That was Fears. So we'll see whether John Ralk returns. Meantime, Major Harris keeps it himself around the right end and gains about 5 yards. Now, Cleveland was scoring a touchdown a quarter until the defense and special teams took over here in the third. That last play, the 5-yard run by Major Harris, was the first offensive play of this half for the Thunderbolts.
Major's been averaging 2 turnovers a game. Look for him to make a turnover here in the third quarter to be a pivotal play.
All right, we'll see if you have this one right without the luxury of listening in. Harris in some trouble, and he throws the interception to Alvin Reddick at the 10-yard line. You were listening in, weren't you? Major Harris in trouble, made a big mistake, identical to the one Gilbert Renfro made earlier this quarter for a Cleveland touchdown.
Major Harris carrying the ball around like a loaf of bread. Taking a look on the monitor here. Drops out of the pocket, finds his man open, the ball's raked out of his arm into the air and intercepted.
Alvin Reddick came up with the football. Now the drive with their second interception tonight. McClay and now Reddick, both with their first of the year. And Detroit can reclaim a 2 TD lead. Here's Renfro in trouble. Throws an ill-advised pass, almost got away with it. Mullen couldn't hold it in the end zone. There is a flag down.
Pass intended for Will McClay, tipped by Will, and almost caught by Gary.
Wouldn't have made a difference. It was holding against Detroit.
63, Coach.
Let's listen in.
Well, see, they switched hash marks over.
We have an offensive holding call, number 50, with a jersey grab, 8-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Let's go. Right. Load Rose. 62 bingo. Okay.
Hold was on Billy Harris. Now, what's that play call?
Right load Rose, 62 bingo. The inside guy, the slot man, will start to come in motion up high, then go back down into his former position and run about a 12-yard out. Look for Gary in a man-to-man coverage in a squat to run him off, and if he's off, he'll try and pick for the inside man.
Penalty has the ball back on the 18-yard line.
Gary's going to try and pick here, and Will should get the ball about 12 yards.
There's Will McClay, and Renfro led him too far, incomplete. He ran the route a little bit short, didn't he, Paul?
Well, he got shoved out of his route and had to cut it short, and that hurt the timing a little bit.
So that'll bring up second down and bring up first football, obviously, of that man's night.
A young man from Westlake, Ohio got that.
Spoken like an Ernie Harwell fan. And look, they're trying to buy the football from him.
Money talks, Frank.
She's so pretty, I'm surprised he didn't just give it to her. Renfro gets out of trouble and delivers the pass, but Mullen can't hold it as he hit the wall in the end zone. Oh, boy, that was close on both ends.
Gilbert made a tremendous effort just to get the ball off.
Hard to believe he got rid of it.
Breaks the pocket, breaks the tackle, finds Gary open on the backside, and ran out of real estate. Off the fingertips of Gary Mullen.
Should have had that one. Here's another look from Gary Mullen's view. Except right at this moment, you take your eyes off to watch where the wall is, right?
It almost looked like he was in between strides and he was off balance and mistimed his jump.
So it's 3rd and goal.
Nevertheless.
Should have been caught. McClay in motion. And that one's overthrown. The same spot where Renfro tried to hit Mullen. This time he tried to hit number 5, Will McClay.
A broken play. Let's listen in to Coach.
He's just upset because he got the football at the 9-yard line on the Reddick interception. And now, instead of a touchdown, he's looking at a 33-yard field goal attempt. Ron Adams, the backup quarterback, will hold. Erwin Grabizna will snap it. Here's the kick. And it hit the frame. Now that ball's alive in the end zone, and Banks will take it out of play. That'll be a touchback. Smart play by Adrian's Robert Banks, who played for the Drive a couple of seasons ago. And Cleveland will start on its own 5-yard line with under 3 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Well, we've still got one more television game remaining, and I got a hunch with the rumor about the food down in San Antonio, Paul, that Jim Brandstatter is going to make it back for this one. You folks won't want to miss it either. To be a part of it, tune us in Saturday, August the 1st, 8:30 p.m., the final road game of the year for the Drive down in San Antonio. New quarterback, Bobby Bounds, taking over for Major Harris, who threw the interception on his last possession. Bounds has not had much action this year.
I don't believe that Major's hurt, Frank.
No, but he did make one major mistake the last time they had the football. Bounds has not thrown a touchdown this year. He's thrown 2 interceptions. And he's been sacked twice. Major Harris just enjoying the action now. We're probably not enjoying it so much. Bounds 6 foot, 200 pounds, out of East Texas State. He's in some trouble and delivers it to Banks. First down, and Banks stepped out of bounds. He's headed down the sideline, but they'll mark him out at the 19. It's a first down. Gain of about 12. First down. Bounds kept his wits about him under some pressure here, Paul.
Bounds drops back in the quarterback and into the pocket, and Billy Harris puts some pressure on him, but gets the ball off and gets a 15-yard gain for a first down.
Ball out at the 19. Just over a minute left in the 3rd quarter. Cleveland has not had much luck picking up first downs. Has gotten 2 touchdowns without the offense on the field. Bounds gets rid of it under some real heavy pressure, and again finds Banks. He is hauled down after a gain of about 10 by Will McClay.
Well, Bounds experiencing some significant pressure from Elvin Reddick. Elvin had a hold of his jersey. Bounds was able to get the ball off and complete the pass to his receiver. Taking a look at it on your screen again.
There's Reddick from behind. He did a great job getting rid of that football, and Banks tried to cut it back inside of McClay, a la Marvin Bowman, who did that in the 1st quarter for a touchdown. You can see from the measurement, it's a first down for Cleveland. Alvin Reddick, who's come close to a couple of sacks tonight, also picked up his first interception of the year, the one that drove Major Harris from the game.
We need Alvin to make a big play here.
First down in Detroit territory with about 30 seconds to go in the half. Here's Bounds with Billy Harris all over him, and now Reddick, and there's a pass interference call against Tate Randall, who was just grabbing the jersey of the intended receiver, Darrell Guard, number 33. There are 3 flags down from officials who saw that one.
I think one of the flags I think one of the flags pelted him in the head. Reddick again getting to the quarterback bounce, able to get the ball off. As you can see on your screen, Tate Randall grabbing the jersey, and obviously thrown for the infraction.
Well,
we have a defensive pass interference. 28, automatic first down. 29.
An 8-yard walk-off and a first down.
Randall vehemently denying the infraction. Never had a hold of him. I don't believe the ball was catchable, first of all.
Well, not after Tate pulled him back 5 yards, no. Cleveland has not had very much success through the air. But again, it's almost like golf. You just count it up at the end how many strokes you've got. You see who wins. Not how, it's just how many points. They haven't done it on offense. They've done it with defense and special team. Whistles blow. This play won't count. There's a flag down. They got the play off in time. Looks like it's against Detroit again.
Offside. We have a dead ball foul, encroachment of the second neutral zone by the MAC linebacker, 44, 3 yards.
So it's first down and 7 from the Detroit 10. And we'll pick up the action in the fourth quarter. The drive with 5 penalties now in the ball game. That's it for the third quarter. Detroit up by 7, but Cleveland threatening to tie it up as we head toward the final quarter here at the Richfield Coliseum.
What day is it today, Max?
Brady, you there? Rosie? Rosie, you're just in time.
Yeah, problem is, Brady, we had a bad front rolling in.
Bad? What do you mean, bad?
I mean it's soup up here, Brady.
Soup. Brady! Yeah, but you can land, right?
Ah, negative. Best I can do is make a pass. Drop one thing.
One.
What's it gonna be, Brady?
Brady!
There are some things in life, people that do just about anything for them. Smooth, refreshing Stroh's. It's not just any beer.
Catch you next time, Brady.
It's Stroh's.
Any requests?
Pretzels.
What would you rather do on a Friday night? This?
And it's the end of the 22nd inning, and the score is still 0-0.
Or this? You could be in the air-conditioned comfort of Joe Louis Arena, watching your 3-time Arena Bowl champion Detroit Drive capture another championship title. It's fast-paced, hard-hitting, in-your-face, 50-yard war-on-the-floor action of Arena Bowl. Professional football at an affordable price. Plus, exciting halftimes with contests like the Metro 25 Tire Toss Challenge to win a Kawasaki jet ski. Plus, don't miss the ever-popular Subway Dancers. Then after the game, you can meet the Drive players, the coaches, and Subway dancers at the Harmony House post-game parties. All the action and excitement of Detroit Drive Arena Ball. So don't let this happen to you. The Drive returned to Joe Louis Arena Friday, July 10th at 8 p.m. to take on the Albany Firebirds. Tickets $10 in advance. Compliments of Metro 25 of the Detroit Newspaper Agency at the box office and Ticketmaster.
Frank Beckmann and Paul Jokisch back here at the Richfield Coliseum. Cleveland starting the fourth quarter with the ball at the Detroit 10, trailing by a touchdown. Draw play to big George Cooper, and that 260-pounder out of Ohio State lumbers down to about the 6. And Clint Fleming hauled him down. Now heading to the fourth quarter, the Drive with the edge in every category. But on the scoreboard, the lead doesn't reflect the dominance of the stat sheet. 226 yards to just 105, caused 4 turnovers, and given it back just once officially, although there was also that free kick that bounced off the net.
Doesn't help.
That was a touchdown. There's a mix-up. Cooper runs into his quarterback, bounds, but gets the handoff, and looks like he's got a first down as well. And he does. Mullen in on the stop with Redding. First and goal.
Cooper took the ball off tackle, listed at 260 pounds, but I'm going to venture to say he's closer to 270. Just fell forward for 3 yards. Ran into the quarterback, regained his balance, and Gary Mullen made the tackle. If that's possible.
Fell on top of the hill is what he did. Here's Bounds. He's going to keep it around the right side. He's down to the 1. He didn't get in. I'll tell you, that was Rod McSwain, 33, who kept him out of the end zone. Along with number 3, Ken Harper. McSwain came over the top to make sure Bounds didn't stretch the ball out over the goal line. So it's second down and goal. Bobby Bounds coming out in relief of Major Harris at the helm for Cleveland.
And has done an admirable job at that.
They overload things to the right. He juggled the snap, Bounds did. Throws back of the end zone, off the net. It is caught for a touchdown by Chris Harkness, who made a great alert football play after the ball bounded off the hands of Brian Williams and into the net. That was a great bounce. Watch this.
Brown stops back and sees his man in the back of the end zone, tips the ball up against the screen, off the screen, and Chris Harkness makes the play.
He is their leading receiver, and that's got to be one of the reasons why. That's his 5th TD catch of the year. The extra point attempt by Chris Drennan to tie the ball game here in the first 3 minutes of the final quarter. And the kick is good. We'll start from scratch with 12-12 to go. Detroit has let a 14-point second-half lead slip away, and we're knotted up in the final 12 minutes of the football game here at Richfield.
The Wellness Plan presents Mr. and Mrs. William Tell.
William, I'm concerned about you. You should get a checkup.
Oh, no. What I really need is a bigger target.
No, what you really need is an HMO, the Wellness Plan.
Will it improve my age?
No, but it'll improve your health. And we'll get all the benefits an HMO offers.
You really want to help?
Of course.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't move.
Right.
William? The Wellness Plan, an HMO that's good for you. Call 875-WELL.
Chris Harkness, number 80, has given the fans here in Richfield something to shout about. They're on their feet. Harkness caught that deflected pass off the net to tie the ball game at 36 with just over 12 minutes to play. Here comes George LaFrance. He tries to go underneath the coverage man, Andrew Marlatt, and goes down at the 10-yard line. Now we'll get another look at this alert play by Chris Harkness, who is not the intended receiver.
As you can see, Bounds throws the ball up to number 98. And Harkness takes the ball off the screen, a rather a fortuitous bounce for Mr. Harkness, and he'll take it.
And the fans want that football, but they'll take the touchdown as a second choice. And now Gilbert Renfro finds a tie ball game as he goes to work. Fires short and has it batted down right at the line of scrimmage by Ricky Newman. Now Gilbert looked to his right first, then looked back to the left, and Newman is ready for him. Bobby Bounds with that scoring drive, 45 yards in 7 plays. That's the way to take over a job from the starter.
Can't do much better than that.
You betcha. Bounds came off the bench after Major Harris threw an awful interception. Now Renfro on 2nd and 10 finds Gary Mullen on the near sideline. He steps out of bounds immediately, short of a first down. He could have gotten the first down, couldn't he? hear Tim Markham's comment. 3rd and 1 coming up.
Well, high load, 34 loaded.
34 loaded will be to the short side of the field. He may end up keeping this for the first down, but he could give it off to Sargent. Gary could have stayed in bounds on that last play. Could have picked up 5 or 6 more yards.
Sure looked like it. 3rd and 1. Here's Renfro finding a seam. First down out over the 20-yard line. At least he appears to have the first. You'd think I'd learned, Paul, after years of doing football games, not to assume where an official is going to spot a ball, but he did.
He can spot it
for a first.
He can spot it anywhere he likes.
You bet. Sometimes they do. First down at the 21 for the drive. Just over 10 minutes to go. The game tied at 36. Here's Sargent. Good blocking, and Broderick Sargent gains nearly 10 yards. George LaFrance, Derek Holloway, Flint Fleming, and Gary Mullen out in front.
Broderick.
Left, high rip. 60, no. We're going to play flag down here. Let's go 84.
84 is your 3-step drop series.
And where does he throw? What's the 4?
He's going to have all three wide receivers run about a 5-yard stop route, and he'll pretty much make his decision before the ball snaps where he's going to throw the ball, depending on the coverages. Look to come to the wide side of the field.
Gary Mullen open, has it, and steps out of bounds after a gain of about 4 yards right in front of Chris Harkness, number 80. That is a first down, though. Here's a look from the other side. You'll see Mullen break wide open here.
Gilbert executing this to a T.
Ooh, he had a foot out of bounds when he caught that ball.
Out of bounds at the 15. They say his inside foot was in bounds.
Yeah, but take another look, Paul. If we get another chance to see this, his right foot is out of bounds when he caught the ball.
Won't be the first time they blow a call.
You sound like your old coach. Here's Renfro to throw. Great catch by LaFrance down around the 1-yard line. Oh, what a grab. And when we get a chance to see this again, watch the block in the backfield by 32 Broderick Sargent. Watch the block by Sargent to give Renfro time. Coming up right. Ah, you just missed it.
Can't see it, but the Mac backer came strong, and Broderick picked him up and gave Gilbert the time he needed to complete the pass. That's what we refer to as his eagle backside. And anytime you have that kind of time to throw that ball, the ball on that route, 9 times out of 10, he's going to complete it.
What a catch by LaFrance. Absolutely fearless. Here's Sargent stood up. Second effort gets him down near the goal line, but he did not get in. They're going to mark him at the 1.
It appears as though he fumbled the ball, but the referee marked him dead.
I got you in the load if the fuck you want to. Okay, you go sneak it.
Gilbert's got to remember Tim is Mike sometimes too.
They got a.
There's a player down on the field, and I mean down and out. That is Marvin Bowman.
It doesn't look like he's moving, Frank.
Now he looks like he is out cold. Well, he's moving his head now, turning toward the trainer of the Cleveland Thunderbolts, Manny Economos, who is out looking over him. So while they attend to Marvin Bowman, we're down to the final half of the 4th quarter. This game tied at 36, and we'll be back to see whether the drive can break the tie in just a moment.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, let me show you where it's at. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, let me show you where it's at. Come on.
Real beer refreshment that's less filling. Miller Lite's everything you want a beer to be.
Cold Miller Lite, I like it like that.
Tomorrow, cash machines.
Come on, Miller Lite, isn't that? Come on.
Little Caesars presents Shake Your Caesar. 2 pizzas, crazy bread, and a mix-it-yourself Caesar salad. Just to shake things up. family-size Caesar salad, 2 pizzas and crazy bread for only $8.98. And that's what's shaking at Little Caesars.
Pizza, pizza.
Well, don't miss any Drive football action this season. 3 of the final 4 games are at home. To be a part of it, get your prime tickets for their next game next Friday night as they host the Albany Firebirds. The Drive handed the Birds their only loss of the season in Albany, so revenge will be a factor in the rematch, and they could be playing for first place. Tickets on sale at Joe Louis Arena box office, Ticketmasters, or charged by phone at 313-645-6666. And if you buy your tickets in advance, they're only $10.
Look for 34 here to the right side. It's Coach Markham's tendencies.
Instead, it's a delay. Renfro following everybody up the middle, and they're not giving a TD signal. He did not get in.
I don't believe he broke the plane.
Meantime, the injured player from the previous play, Marvin Bowman of Cleveland, was apparently just had his bell rung. Got a knee in the head. Now here's another look at Renfro trying to sneak in behind Billy Harris.
I believe this is a design play, and it appears as though he ran up the back of Billy Harris. And
looks like he got in, too.
And lost momentum. He may have broke the plane.
Looks like it to me, but I'm not wearing a striped shirt, so. It's 3rd and goal.
It's a big play for the Drive.
Trying to break this 36 tie in the final 7 minutes. Gilbert again. This time he's in. Touchdown, Detroit, as Gilbert Renfro carries it over for the 2nd time tonight. And with under 7 minutes to play, the Drive has taken the lead yet again.
Realizing the importance of that play, Gilbert took the ball and burrowed in under his lineman and took it in for a touchdown. Let's take another look.
Well, this is the 5th different time that Detroit has gone on top in the ball game as Roderick Sargent paved the road for Gilbert Renfro to get in from a yard out. You're right, he did burrow in.
You don't expect to see him.
High snap on the extra point, and Adams throws it to Langlow, and he can't get in. He made a great catch and could not get in. In the end zone, we've got a flag down. Oh, and that play unfolded. I thought it was just a high snap. Paul, you got to tell me if that's a design play, though.
That is not a design play. I can tell you that right now. Coach Markham isn't real happy about
down. It don't make a shit. Set the ball down and kick it.
Not happy is an understatement.
Yeah, he wanted Adams to set it down and have Langlow kick it. Luckily, the penalty is against Cleveland. Luckily, from a Detroit standpoint. So the Drive will take the penalty, and Langlow will get another chance. And Gilbert Renfro says, I've heard Coach talk like that before.
You have an illegal defense. They had 6 men on the line, only allowed 5. Half the distance.
What's the worst thing Schembecker ever said to you? And you can't interject all the other words.
I knew sooner or later you'd get to this. Let's watch and see this extra point, then see if I can.
No, you got to tell me first.
See if I can dig up a story.
All right, we'll watch Langlow attempt the extra point now out of the hold of Adams. And it is no good. It's wide to the right, and the lead remains 6 with 5:35 remaining in the football game. Was it a key miss? We'll find out. A 6-point lead for Detroit. A lot of time left on the clock here in Richfield. Well, you see that man with the glasses on behind Dave Winham with the gray hair right there? That is another former Michigan star by the name of Dennis Fitzgerald. Now, at halftime, you heard Dave Winham say that he was the last Michigan player ever to wear a leather helmet. But Paul Jokisch, I hit Jim Brandstetter with a trivia question every week. What other distinction does Dennis Fitzgerald hold in Michigan football history? Give me the answer in a moment. The kick sails out of the field of play by Langlow. It'll be a touchback. All right, what did Dennis Fitzgerald do that makes him so important in Michigan football history?
Well, I really wish I had the answer. I haven't been known in the past as king of trivia.
All right. Well, I'm gonna teach you something here. You should know this.
I'm all ears.
Former Wolverine player. Back in 1960, Dennis Fitzgerald took a kickoff at Spartan Stadium in East Lansing on the 1-yard line and ran it back 99 yards for a touchdown. That is still the longest kickoff return for a touchdown in Michigan football history and in the history of Spartan Stadium. How's that? Bobby Bounds fumbles the ball and
recovered by Thunder.
They got it back. And Dennis Fitzgerald says, whenever I tell the story, let's go. I tell people how I stiff-armed George Perlis on my way down the field. I said, did you really? He said George wasn't dressed that day.
I can't think of a better team I'd rather have him do it against.
Yeah, by the way, speaking of ex-Spartans, Dan Enos celebrated a birthday last night, the former MSU quarterback, who's on injured reserve as well with a knee injury, isn't it?
To my knowledge, yes. He's made some significant progress, and we expect him back in the lineup sometime soon.
Have a tough time getting that job away from Gilbert Renfro.
That's correct.
2nd and 7. Bobby Bounds gets out of trouble, throws on the run, and the ball is dropped by Chris Harkness. Woo! That could have been a big play for the Bolts.
Bounds had his man, broke the pocket, left. Harkness came across the field and couldn't hang on the ball. That could prove to be a pivotal play for both teams.
That drive, 9 plays, and they used up over 5.5 minutes for the 2nd time tonight. Well, you can feel the tension in the air here at Richfield. This game pitting 2 teams that are 3-2. Cleveland has lost 2 straight on the road, hoping to bounce back at home.
3rd and 7.
They just play the ball game right here. And Bounds can't find Harkness. He got 1 hand on it, but not 2. And so it's 4th down, and the drive defense does the job. Under 4 minutes to go, and Detroit is going to get the ball back on the long field goal try. And Harkness had his hands on 2 in a row.
The drive very fortunate on that play. Bonds had the time.
Tim Markham yelling, watch the fake, watch the fake.
I don't believe they're going to fake at this juncture. There's too much to lose.
Bounds the holder, and you're right, Paul. A 58-yard kick is going to be short. Hits the frame. George LaFrance has room. Tries to outrun the containment and does. Out over the 20-yard line. That is a great return by George LaFrance with 3:12 left in the football game.
An outstanding effort by George. Took the ball off the screen.
Well, he took it off the frame, which is tougher yet. You don't know where that thing's going.
That's an incredible catch. And one of the more difficult things to do is play the ball off that frame like that. George took the ball across the field, cut it up, took it out of bounds about the 21-yard line. The important thing here for the drive is that they don't turn the ball over and they keep the clock running, Frank.
Well, and that slam into the wall may be your tell data hit of the night. George over 100 yards in returns once again. He does that every game.
That's no surprise.
He says, now find out why the NFL won't give me a chance. Quick pass complete to McClay at the 20. You saw him put the feet up to make sure that the defender on the play, guard, didn't jump down on top of him. Guard takes some offense.
No. Let's run the clock. We'll talk.
2nd and a yard.
Left, high rip. Okay, 38 toss over here.
It's going to be a running play, but you hear Gilbert Renfro, he says, just let me call it. Tim Markham's silent. Gilbert says, are you going to talk?
I don't think he knew what to say. He didn't expect Coach Markham to respond that way. Look at the 38 toss here to the short side of the field.
That's to the right, to the bottom of your screen. And that's Broderick Sargent with the ball. He stepped out of bounds as he made his cut. And I don't know whether he got the first down.
It's going to be close.
Then we can get a better look at it here. There you see his right foot stepping on that yellow stripe. And I think we're going to get a measurement.
He might be about 2 inches short.
1:58 left on the clock. Detroit ahead by 6. Drive well remembers that game at home a couple of weeks ago against Orlando. The Predators scored in the closing seconds to pull one out at Joe Louis Arena, and they don't want to repeat. The measurement shows they're short of a first down.
we can't afford a loss at this point, I don't think.
Well, especially with Albany coming into Joe Louis next Friday night in what should be a showdown for first place. Albany at home this weekend against New Orleans, and the Knight has not won a ball game all year long.
Yeah, I think it would be safe to say that Albany will probably win that game. We've lost 2 games that are unpalatable, to say the least.
The opener at Cincinnati, and then that one against Orlando at home. That was really unbelievable. Renfro sneaks for the yardage and has a first down to the 18-yard line. That should take it down close to the 1-minute warning.
Timeout.
They just want to make sure he got the first down, and now Cleveland uses a timeout, which is a smart move here. So Cleveland will have 2 timeouts remaining. Detroit with a first down at the 18-yard line. 1:39 to go. Gilbert Renfro on the drive, trying to protect a 6-point lead at Richfield Coliseum.
For only $10, you can get 50 yards of excitement. 50 yards of Detroit Drive Arena Bowl action. Hard-hitting, fast-paced, and in your face. Friday, July 10th, 8 p.m. versus the Albany Firebirds at Joe Louis Arena. Professional football at an affordable price. All tickets only $10 in advance. Compliments of the Detroit Newspaper Agency and Metro 25. Plus, it's Metro 25 night with Miss Grand Prix. Halftime excitement with the Subway Dancers. Arena football drive style. Don't miss it. Tickets now at the Joe Louis Arena box office and Ticketmaster centers.
Well, our Tel Data Services of Southfield hit of the game is brought to you by Tel Data Services, your complete local area network connection in Southfield. And the hit of the game was one George LaFrance did mostly on his own. Here comes Gallopin' George up the right side, and boom, he takes the wall out. That's our hit of the game. And George makes the catch and avoids the wall this time. The reason we say that's our hit of the game is George was absolutely fearless as he went up along the wall. Now he makes yet another catch down to the 12-yard line. George may be in for some more honors.
Hey,
George has made some outstanding plays tonight. This last play in particular. He made a very wise and prudent move by staying inbounds and keeping the clock moving.
It's going to go down to a minute.
And it sounds as though
it's going to go down to a minute
here.
That's what Tim Markham's telling Gilbert Renfro. Just relax. Now you get the clock stopped at the 1-minute warning.
No, we need to run it out now.
Second down and 4 to go, and Tim Markham just wants to run out the clock. 1 minute remaining. The drive leading the Cleveland Thunderbolts by 6. Tim Markham just wants to run out the clock now. Break this tie for second place with the Cleveland Thunderbolts.
AT&T presents at the Meadowbrook Music Festival, A Night of the Blues, starring John Lee Hooker. Sunday night, July 5th. Plus the Robert Cray Band, in association with the Detroit Newspaper Agency and Mosa, then July 9th. Arlo Guthrie and Pete Seeger, 2 legendary folk performers together. Tickets for both shows now at the box office, Ticketmasters, or charged by phone. Brought to you by the Detroit Newspaper Agency and Mosa.
Now the officials put the ball back into play right after the 1-minute warning, and Broderick Sargent swept the right side for 2. Cleveland calls timeout with 52 seconds remaining. Now the Thunderbolts have only 1 timeout to go as Detroit faces 3rd down and a long 3. We'll call it 3rd and 4 from the 12. Now Tim Markham's got a decision to make. Does he try to pick up the first down via the run? I thought I heard draw right there.
We're going to go with the field goal. I'm not going to give him another bit.
That way we can keep the clock running. If he does draw, look for him to go to the wide side of the field so we can straighten up that field goal.
I thought I heard 34 draw. Now that's what it is, to the right side. And there's very little gain for Sargent, if any. 42 seconds remaining, and the officials stopped the clock. I believe because he didn't gain any yardage. No, Cleveland uses its final timeout. Dave Winham may be saying he didn't gain any yards. We shouldn't have to use that time. But he did, and so now the Thunderbolts are out of timeouts. John Langlow can give Tim Markham a little bit of breathing room and maybe prevent a few more gray hairs if he can knock through this field goal now.
Well, if Langlo can punch us through the uprights, it would give us a 9-point lead with 41 seconds to go. Normally, I would say that would be enough. This is arena ball, and anything can happen.
And the field goal is no sure thing, don't forget. It's a 27-yard attempt. Robert Banks is awaiting any carol. Boy, he wants this one. I guarantee you. It would be his 8th of the year. Banks puts it down. Here's the kick, and it's good. What a clutch kick by John Langlo, the former Spartan who ties for the league lead with 8 field goals on the year. And he hasn't made a more pressure-filled kick in some time.
Well, I never thought there'd be a day where I'd be rooting for Langlo to make a field goal. But today's the day. And I couldn't be happier.
That's a Wolverine rooting for a Spartan there, folks. When you look at it, it's a drive player rooting for a drive player. And Langlo made no mistake. That is dead salad perfect right there from 28 yards. 36 seconds to go. Cleveland with no timeouts remaining. This one should be in the win column for the drive. Not much left to cheer about here in Richfield for the Cleveland Thunderbolts fans. Drive, after this game was tied at 36 earlier here in the fourth quarter, have come back with 9 straight points. And Langlo puts his kickoff out of the end zone for a touchback. Now with 36 seconds to play in the ball game, Cleveland is out of timeouts and needs to score twice. Dave Winham talking with his quarterback Bobby Bounds as we take a look at our Subway player of the game, and it can't be any other hero tonight than George LaFrance. Look at those receiving totals. 8 for 138, 2 first half touchdowns, and again more than 100 yards in kick returns. George LaFrance, our Subway hero of the game.
The important thing here, Frank, is that we don't give up a big play.
Bounds eludes a big play by the defense and is sacked by Billy Harris back on the 2.
Keeps the clock running.
And this pass is going to be incomplete. That's Alvin Reddick all over Bobby Bounds. That'll stop the clock with 18 seconds left in the ball game.
Reddick almost beat the snap. Got to the quarterback before he could even ground it.
Got there in a hurry. Dave Winham and Bobby Bounds consider third down here, but they're also considering what looks like Cleveland's 3rd consecutive loss. Thunderbolts won their first 3 games this year, but again, those 3 teams have combined to win only 2 games all season. That's Darrell Guard in motion. Bounds with a real wobbler up the middle, and Tate Randall almost got his 6th interception of the year. The ball floated beyond his grasp, too.
Frank, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say we've got this one in the bag.
Well, 4th and 12 coming up. I'd say you're pretty safe. 13 seconds remaining.
No timeout.
What a huge victory this is going to be for the drive.
Especially with Albany coming into Joe Louis Arena now next Friday night, July the 10th. And a victory for the drive there would mean a tie for first place, and more importantly, 2 victories over Albany, the team with which Detroit would be tied. Bounds to throw, and they're all over him for one last exclamation point. Alvin Reddick, Billy Harris, and a whole bunch more drive players. Lynn Rowland, number 82, in there for the 2nd safety of the night with 9 seconds to go. And you already heard Tim Markham coaching before Bounds got up to look for the onside kick. Here comes Billy Harris.
Billy Harris and Alvin Reddick got to him first, but it seems as though the entire defensive line made that play.
So the drive lead is 11 points. Here's how Bounds saw it. Not for long. He just said, get me out of here. Nothing but blue jerseys around him. Well, Billy Harris enjoys the safety as he comes over to hear Tim Markham's instruction on the onside kick.
which is inevitable, forthcoming.
And also fruitless when you're down 11. You have no timeouts. Even in arena football, Paul, you can't make up an 11-point deficit with 9 seconds to go and no timeouts, and you're kicking off. Now, if you could think of a scenario that can win that game, man, you ought to talk to Tom Clancy. He'll turn it into a book and a movie. Here's the kick. Kick it away. How about this? And George LaFrance will pad his return totals here, but not by much. Got out to about the 3, and they shove him back in the end zone with 2 seconds left in the game. George was trying to smile because he knows he's our Subway hero of the game.
He told us before the game, Frank, that he was going to have a big game. He wanted to get some exposure, and he wanted to get some phone calls for some of the NFL teams, and he was kind of surprised that he hadn't up to date. So he did exactly what he said he was going to do.
2 seconds left. Gilbert Renfro will take one snap, and that'll be it. And the Drive will enjoy an awfully big victory here at the Richfield Coliseum. Billy Harris sends it back. Gilbert goes down on a knee, and that's all she wrote from Richfield tonight. The Drive come up with a clutch victory. It looked for a while like Cleveland was destined to pull this one out. After the Thunderbolts fought back from a 14-point halftime deficit to get 1 TD by their defense and 1 by their special teams. But then Detroit got the sea legs back under them. Regained the lead. Cleveland tied it early in the 4th quarter. But then Gilbert Renfro scored on a short run. John Langlow booted a 28-yard field goal. And 3 Drive defenders, Billy Harris, Lynn Rowland, and Alvin Reddick combined on a sack that put this one away, Paul. And the Drive walk out of Richfield tonight with a 47-36 victory. We'll be back to wrap things up for you in just a moment. The Drive had the lead 5 different times in the ball game before finally pulling it out with that 11-point 4th quarter after Cleveland had tied it early in the final period. Was a show of some strength by the Drive, Paul, and a nice way to keep your composure on the road under some tough circumstances when all the bounces seem to be going the home team's way.
No, that really was an impressive drive there at the very end. Great time management, clock management, ball control. They did all the things they needed to do, and then Langlow, I'm sorry, put the exclamation mark on by solidifying the deal with a 3-pointer.
Great performance by Gilbert Renfro at quarterback tonight. He ran for 2 touchdowns, and George LaFrance. It was Renfro who led that offensive barrage of 268 yards to 123 by Cleveland. The Drive also got 2 safeties defensively, caused 5 turnovers. You look at that stat sheet and you wonder how the game could have been that close, but it was.
Well, sometimes the stats don't indicate exactly what took place throughout the course of the game, but fortunately for the Drive, they came out on top. And anytime you can get a victory on the road in this league, it's a wonderful thing.
That was nice to have you in the booth with us tonight, Paul Jokisch, while Jim Brandstetter covered Steve Brady's repeat championship at the Michigan Open Golf Tournament. Our next live game on TV will come up on August the 1st, Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Join us in San Antonio when the Drive takes on the Force. We'll head west with Tim Markham and company, and we want you there with us. All right, game time will be 8:30. Stay with us now for a post-game edition of This Week on Pit Road. Now for Paul Jokisch and our producer-director Doug Yalaki, this is Frank Beckmann saying good night from Cleveland. Once again, our final score, the Detroit Drive 47 and the Cleveland Thunderbolts 36.